Good morning, afternoon and evening all, this is Yorkie with my very first F1 2013 Sprint Race Online multiplayer video. Yep, we're in a McLaren and we're at Malaysia, as you just saw. We're in a relatively full lobby, and basically I just held off the multiplayer for a little bit until I kind of gotten used to and felt rather comfortable with the new handling model. So here we are in the garage, waiting for other players to join. Someone's just disconnected there. That was because he joined after the lobby had launched, and it's nice to see that they've decreased the size of the lost connection message. However, it's still not. It's not a see-through background. It still blocks your view a little bit, which is a little bit frustrating. So, as you can see, we've got 13 cars. I'm starting in P4. It's only a 5-lap race. And I'm just getting a couple of Steam messages. And we're still waiting for the players to join. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the F1 2013 content that I've been putting up so far. Most of it has all been single player. Most of it has been live commentaries as well. This one isn't, however. This is just a race and then me commentating over the top after it. And as you can see, adjusting the setup here, still I'm not 100% sure on the gear ratios. Everything else I'm pretty comfortable with as to what I want to be doing. And actually looking back at this footage, it probably would have been better to have run slightly softer balance. Probably a 7-8 rather than a 8-9, just to help with those long sweeping corners. So here we go to the grid then. Same animations as before, but this time it pretty much only shows you just your own car. It does sometimes show the other cars as well, or it will show your teammate, but most of the time now it is just you rather than flicking through people. And everyone's getting control of the cars now. Everyone starts revving. So let's just see how good a start we get compared to everyone else. Off the line, not full throttle. We are trying to balance the wheel spin a little bit. We get a good start. Oh, that Williams has just gone and tagged that Marussia there. I think he pretty much, well, judging by what he's doing at the moment, I'm pretty sure he braked. Oh my god, this contact multiple places. So I kind of just trying to play it cautiously, try and stay to the side of the track, stay out of everyone's way, but even then that's proven difficult. There's plenty of contact between multiple people there, and I've ended up down in the 7th place, a little bit of room behind me. And well, this is the worst thing about new F1 games, is the amount of people, the amount of rammers. So on the outside of this Marussia here, as we come into this long sweeping left-hander, it looks like we've managed to gain and hold the position. As we go into this right, it's going to run wide. So I'm now back up into P4, and we're sat behind a Toro Rosso with Williams just in front of him, and the Williams has just braked into the Toro Rosso, which has sent him off into a spin and gifted me P2. So yeah, the rammers are back. So online lobbies are going to prove to be very interesting and very difficult. Not only is it a race to try and catch those who are quicker and starting further up ahead of you, but it's also a little bit of a game to try and avoid all the rammers as you work your way through the field. So the classified is in P1, I am in P2. He is currently about a second and a half up the road from me, judging by the distance. Not too great last corner. The exit wasn't too bad. It's just didn't really hook up the apex. And yeah, we're pretty much a second behind him. So try and hunt him down. Try and learn all these braking points with obviously the more powerful braking, and also try not to accelerate too hard out of the corners, because obviously the rear end is a lot livelier, as we all know now, compared to F1 2012. So I've gained 2/10 on him in the first sector. Cut the corner a little bit there and he went and ran wide, so we're now down to probably about half a second as we come through the sweeping long left then right, and it looks like he didn't take a great line through that, so even closer now as two people disconnect. And he's just gone and slowed down and given me the position for some reason. It looks like he's gone and pulled off to the side of the track. So I'm now taking first, which is interesting. No idea why that's happened. Actually running wide there, which isn't good, but I've still got quite a nice margin between me and the guy in second. There's a little bit of cars leaving, about 15%, 20% of my cars left at the end there, which I'll use coming out of the exit of the final corner, which coming into now, again, well away from the apex, as we come into the third lap now. And basically from here on in, this is exactly what it was like. It was just driving around right up until this point. We're coming to the last turn in the final lap. Host was migrated, coming to the start finish line, and yeah, probably about 100 meters away from the start finish line, getting my very first online win. I go and disconnect from the session, so I was pissed off with that, as you might expect. But yes, so we're going to show you another race now, where I actually get into a race and stay in the race for the entire duration. And as you can see, we're in a Sauber, and we're actually using the cockpit cam this time. And I've got a couple of spaces in front of me. This gives us free room towards turn one. It looks like the Mercedes up ahead of Mike Mill hasn't had a great start at all, and originally, well, straight away gaining up into third, although I did lock the front right and I've gone a little bit too deep. So I'm now into fifth and now into last because of that little incident. And we've got this guy here to my right on a Rouge who's not really going to give me too much room. I'm going to hang it on the outside there, and again didn't give me much room, but still I managed to slip past, gaining in the slipstream of the Caterham and other cars up ahead as this Caterham does a little wiggle down the straight for some reason. Almost did think about having to go up the inside there, but he did come back. I'm going to back out a little, out the throttle a little bit there to avoid his rear of the car. Try and avoid that contact. So it's two Brazilians going on each other, a little bit of wheel spin, a little bit of having to correct the steer. What the, yeah, nice animation with the hands there. Is exactly what I was thinking. What the hell was that? As we came out of that corner, and it looked like the Caterham got a little bit loose at the rear end and went into the side of me, and McLaren's gone way wide there. He's gone straight across the inside of the track, so I'm just giving plenty of room, and I managed to skip back out ahead of him right on the rear ring of this Red Bull, chasing it through as we come towards Blanchimont now, using a little bit of curse to get alongside. He's there, we're pretty much neck and neck, although he is now actually starting to pull away, so slip back into the slipstream of him again, following through Blanchimont, getting that smoother run. I kind of look into the outside as he goes defensive on the no lag. So yeah, that problem still persists, and because of that I ended up missing my braking point, locked the front wheels and went straight on. So, but in the midst of all that as well, I managed to gain I went from third to second. It's just weird, but yeah, we'll let it go. So Red Bull, we're hunting it again. We're a little bit behind, as you saw that 2 second or so gap as we come down to a Rouge now. You can actually take a Rouge in 7th gear, no problem at all, rather than having to drop down into third. No, third? Fucking hell, that was a low gear. Terrible commentary. 6th gear is what I was going to say. Yeah, instead of having to drop down into 7th gear like you had to do in F1 2012. Yeah, these corners set up relatively nicely, not pushing too hard, not too aggressive, still a little bit unsure about the handling model at this point. I have now saying this at commentary time. I am very happy with it, much more comfortable, kind of know where and when to push. But at the time of actually racing this race, I was still trying to figure out all the little quirks and trying to be more safe than sorry, as the Red Bull flicks up a ton of sparks coming out the exit of poo on that. So again, we're cruising up to the back of the Red Bull as we come into the final sector now. He runs wide over the curb. Again, he's a little bit slow through that right-hander there for some reason. And using a little bit of curves, getting alongside him as we come down towards Blanchemont. This time I'm on the inside, so I have the racing line, and it looks like I've got the move pretty much done before the corner. Nice and easy. I'm going to stick over to the right-hand side of the track here to defend the inside. He's hanging it on out on the outside. He's got the inside there, and it's neck and neck as we come down the start-finish straight, using a little bit of curves now. It's drag race down to turn 1, and it looks like I've just about managed to hold him off. And going for the inside again, moved out of his way just to avoid any contact. He's got a little bit deep, so cut straight back underneath him and ended up taking back P1. But of course, he's going to have DRS coming out the exit of Rouge. Detection point was back there at that start-finish line for the support races. I'm on higher fuel mixture. That was the activation point, using a little bit of curves just to bring the revs up to a higher range and try and maximise that top speed and nullify the advantage that he would have, which is going to put me a nice 8/10 breathing space behind me as we come now into turn 8, now into turn 9, just trying to be nice and smooth, and it looks like we're pulling away quite rapidly, in fact, as we come through P1. So only a slight lift coming into that. Not really having to use the brakes with downshift at all. These cars are a lot quicker and a lot faster than last year's F1 2012 cars. And I think partly that's down to the FPS bug, as I found out from the previous videos you probably saw, the 50% race from Suzuka. Ben from Germany, who was ARL Season 5 World Champion, he messaged me on Steam mid-race saying that there's a bug with FPS. The higher the FPS you have, the faster you go, and I did test this out, and yeah, I did it around Melbourne and at 60 FPS. I was just over a second slower than I was at somewhere between 130 and 180 FPS is what I can get in this game, depending on the track and where I am on the track as well. So yeah, it's not bad. Wow, not bad in terms of performance from the PC. It's actually very good, but the fact that you can have that giant FPS advantage where you can be about a second quicker a lap than other people is not a good thing, and Codemasters have said that they are looking into it, as a lot of people have flagged up on it as well. So yeah, for the moment my FPS is unlocked. Obviously my screen won't show any higher than 60 FPS because it's only a 60Hz screen. However, you know, it's not really putting too much strain on my CPU or my GPU either. They're not hitting ridiculous temperatures, so I'm going to leave my FPS unlocked for now. And I'm actually recording at 55 frames, so my frame rate could be about 130 at this point. Yeah, I'm only recording at 55. Basically just to try and save on file size, because I'm pretty much recording everything that I'm doing, gaming wise, no matter what game it is. And it's taken up an awful lot of hard drive space, especially the method that I'm now starting to record with, which allows me to talk in TeamSpeak with my mates, race at the same time, and listen to music as well if I really wanted to, and I can take all that out nice and easily and just have the video and the game sound and then my mic if I wanted it. So it all works very nicely, but of course it does take up an awful lot of hard drive space. But anyway, back to the racing. As you can see, just trying to be relatively smooth. Still at this point trying to get used to that handling model, so just testing things here and there without, you know, pushing the boat out too far and losing it. it's all very much the same as F1 2012 in terms of braking points and speed. Yeah, you can brake a little bit later in some places, but it's very, very similar. That's not going to stop me doing an in-depth track guide series though, which will be coming. Do not worry about that, I will be doing it, and yes, I will also be doing the classic tracks as well. And yeah, this time it will feature both wet and dry races, or dry laps, as I ended up leaving out the wet laps from F1 2012. So yeah, plans for it already. When I'm actually going to start, I'm not going to say. I have a rough date in mind, but I'm not going to say. I'm going to be a dick and tease you guys about it. So here we are, final lap, hitting a 146.019, almost a 145, which is very, very quick. 4 Brazilians in the lobby as well. One of them didn't finish. A lot of people didn't finish. Oh dear, sorry. And yeah, 4 of us are only left. So that was my first win in F1 2013. Should have won earlier than that in the other race, but of course it disconnected. Unfortunately, it wasn't as lively as I would have liked to have been. There was some decent battles in the first couple of laps, but of course, nowhere near. It didn't last. There wasn't any real duration to it. I would have liked to have carried on throughout the duration of the race. But yeah, those are the final results, and the end cutscene. Helmet there, very much. I chose it because it's very similar to the colours of my channel, and I am thinking of doing a new helmet design. But yeah, that's going to conclude it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a rating. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below, and of course don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content in the future. I shall hopefully see you soon, guys. Take care.